Let me just start here. Okay, done. So I will play the audio once without pause, everything. And after that, I will play each conversation pausing, and then we can discuss the question and make predictions about what we think is going to happen in each situation. So first, let's listen.
Unit 6, Exploring. It takes two to tango. Activity 1. Conversation 1.
Hi, I'm Johnny.
Hi,
Don't you have a name?
Sheila.
What a beautiful name. Did you know that
Look, you seem like a cool guy, but I'm really not looking for company. I just came in for a drink.
Then have a drink with me. What do you have to lose?
My patience, probably?
Tell you what, let me buy you one harmless drink and then we can talk for 5 minutes. After that, if you tell me you're not interested in my company, I'll leave you in peace.
Conversation 2.
Christopher? Is that you?
Laura, long time no see. How have you been?
Good. And you?
I'm great.
You look great too.
Thanks, so do you.
This is funny. Meeting you like this. Just the other day, I caught myself thinking about the two of us.
You did?
I was just thinking that things might have turned out very differently if we hadn't been so young back then. I mean, we both acted like teenagers at some point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Of course, there were some very good moments too.
Yeah, there were.
What do you say we have lunch together, for old time's sake?
Conversation 3.
Is this seat taken?
Actually, it is. I'm waiting for a friend.
Great, so I can keep you company while you wait.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'll have to ask you to find another table.
Why? We haven't even talked yet. What if I'm the man of your dreams and you just haven't noticed it?
Again, I'm sorry, but I'm really not interested.
How can you know? I bet I can change your mind.
Look, I'm trying to be polite, but if you don't leave me alone, I'll have to call security.
No need for that. I'll be going.
Thank you.
Would it change anything if I told you we've already met before?
Okay, one more time. This time pausing after each conversation so that we can have the discussion in the questions.
Unit 6, Exploring. It takes two to tango. Activity 1. Conversation 1.
Hi, I'm Johnny.
Hi,
Don't you have a name?
Sheila.
What a beautiful name. Did you know that
Look, you seem like a cool guy, but I'm really not looking for company. I just came in for a drink.
Then have a drink with me. What do you have to lose?
My patience, probably?
Tell you what, let me buy you one harmless drink and then we can talk for 5 minutes. After that, if you tell me you're not interested in my company, I'll leave you in peace.
Okay, so this first situation was literally every girl's nightmare whenever, but in conversation 1, do you think Sheila will accept Johnny's offer? Why do you think so? So she's probably in a bar, she's trying to have a drink on her own. This gross guy comes in, tries to talk to her, she says no to him. He insists, saying, come on, grab a drink with me, we'll talk for 5 minutes. If you don't like my company, I'll go away. Do you think she will finally accept his offer? Anyone can answer. Okay, I'll call names. Maria Eduarda, do you think Sheila is going to accept this offer?
I think she won't because she has no patience. I think she's upset today or something's going on.
Okay, great. I agree with you. I think she shouldn't accept. But let's get a second opinion. Lucas, what do you think?
Yeah, okay. The girls look decided about she really don't want company, but if you see it's a good deal. Just accept a drink for only 5 minutes of conversation. I don't know if it's because I'm a man, but I think she can accept this offer.
Okay, great. Now let's listen to conversation 2 and then discuss the question. Let me just choose one. Okay.
Conversation 2.
Christopher? Is that you?
Laura, long time no see. How have you been?
Good. And you?
I'm great.
You look great too.
Thanks, so do you.
This is funny, meeting you like this. Just the other day, I caught myself thinking about the two of us.
You did?
I was just thinking that things might have turned out very differently if we hadn't been so young back then. I mean, we both acted like teenagers at some point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Of course, there were some very good moments too.
Yeah, there were.
What do you say we have lunch together, for old time's sake?
Okay.
Oops.
In conversation 2, we have a slightly different situation. In this situation, these two people know each other. I believe they may be ex-boyfriend and girlfriend. The girl's talking about how things could have been different if they weren't so young, and maybe things could have worked out between them, and that she was thinking about him. And then she asks him to lunch, I think, I don't remember. So in conversation 2, is Christopher going to accept Laura's invitation? Why do you think so? So remember, we have here a situation of two ex-boyfriend and girlfriend. What do you think, Ryan? Is he going to accept the invitation?
Yes, he will.
Why?
Because I think they were feeling he were feeling a nostalgic feeling, you know.
Yeah.
He seems really happy to see her, so I think he will accept it.
Okay. What do you think, Thiago? Do you think he will accept it? Thiago?
Hello, Thiago.
Hello.
Do you agree with Ryan? Do you think he will accept?
Have you heard the audio we played before?
What? Okay. Now, again, Thiago. You agree? Yes? Why?
Yes, because in this case, I think it was not just insist all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just say.
Yeah. He looks very, he sounds, like Brian said, he sounds a little nostalgic. Okay.
Yes.
Now let's listen to conversation 3.
Conversation 3.
Is this seat taken?
Actually, it is. I'm waiting for a friend.
Great, so I can keep you company while you wait.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'll have to ask you to find another table.
Why? We haven't even talked yet. What if I'm the man of your dreams and you just haven't noticed it?
Again, I'm sorry, but I'm really not interested.
How can you know? I bet I can change your mind.
Look, I'm trying to be polite, but if you don't leave me alone, I'll have to call security.
No need for that. I'll be going.
Thank you.
Would it change anything if I told you we've already met before?
Okay. In situation number 3, we have another insistent gross man. He sits at the table without her allowing, and then she asks him to leave. He says he's going to leave, but then he makes a curious question. He asks her, would it change anything if I told you we've already met? So in conversation 3, what is Caroline going to do after learning that she and Todd have already met? So the question is already giving us the answer. They have already met before somehow. We don't know how. And but the question is, what is she going to do? Do you think she's going to change her mind and let him sit with her? Or do you think she's going to do something different? Maria Antonia.
I think she's gonna ask for her leave because she don't feel comfortable with the situation and they don't have the, I don't know how to say, intimidade.
Intimacy.
Intimacy.
Yes, okay, I agree. Yes, she doesn't look very comfortable with the situation. She actually said that. She made it clear that she wasn't interested. He insisted. But maybe we don't know how they know each other. Maybe it is a blind date. So one of those dates where people don't know what the other look like and he is the boy that she's supposed to meet. I don't know. Now, listen to the whole conversations and check if your predictions were right, and then discuss these questions. So we will see now the desfecho of the stories, what happens next, and then we can discuss the questions. So you see here, listen.
Unit 6, Exploring. It takes two to tango. Activity 2. Conversation 1.
Hi, I'm Johnny.
Hi,
Don't you have a name?
Sheila.
What a beautiful name. Did you know that
Look, you seem like a cool guy, but I'm really not looking for company. I just came in for a drink.
Then have a drink with me. What do you have to lose?
My patience, probably?
Tell you what, let me buy you one harmless drink and then we can talk for 5 minutes. After that, if you tell me you're not interested in my company, I'll leave you in peace.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on. I'm a real nice guy. I can call my mother on the phone and she'll confirm that. Give it a chance.
All right, Mr. Nice Guy. I guess you can buy me a drink.
Conversation 2.
Christopher? Is that you?
Laura, long time no see. How have you been?
Good. And you?
I'm great.
You look great too.
Thanks, so do you.
This is funny, meeting you like this. Just the other day, I caught myself thinking about the two of us.
You did?
I was just thinking that things might have turned out very differently if we hadn't been so young back then. I mean, we both acted like teenagers at some point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Of course, there were some very good moments too.
Yeah, there were.
What do you say we have lunch together, for old time's sake?
Wow, I'm really flattered, but I don't think the two of us getting back together is a good idea.
Who said anything about getting back together?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be blunt, but I really don't think I can make it. I'm due back at the office in 1 hour.
Oh, Chris, if I didn't know you so well, I'd say you were afraid.
It's just that it's never really off the table with the two of us. And then we always end up getting hurt.
Don't be silly, Chris. We're both grown-ups. Just two grown-up friends having lunch. I won't take no for an answer. Let's go, I'm hungry.
All right, let's go. Conversation 3.
Is this seat taken?
Actually, it is. I'm waiting for a friend.
Great, so I can keep you company while you wait.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'll have to ask you to find another table.
Why? We haven't even talked yet. What if I'm the man of your dreams and you just haven't noticed it yet?
Again, I'm sorry, but I'm really not interested.
How can you know? I bet I can change your mind.
Look, I'm trying to be polite, but if you don't leave me alone, I'll have to call security.
No need for that. I'll be going.
Thank you.
Would it change anything if I told you we've already met before?
No, it wouldn't. And no, we haven't.
We sure have. You're Caroline Sanders. We used to go to school together. I'm Mike Toddle, but everyone used to call me Todd.
Ah, I remember now. I used to hate you back in high school. You were so annoying. Well, I guess some things never change. Now for the last time, please, leave me alone.
Oh my God, okay. I was only satisfied with the last conversation. All right, so in conversation number 1, Sheila, after a lot of insisting, accepts the invitation, accepts the offer, and goes to have a drink with Johnny. Gross. In conversation 2, Christopher at first does not accept. He thinks it's a little dangerous. He doesn't want to get back together with Laura. He says that every time they get back together, they get hurt. But Laura insists, and they end up going to lunch together. And in conversation 3, Caroline says it won't change anything. And then Todd says they went to school together, and Caroline says that she used to hate him in school, and that has not changed because he's still annoying. What would you have done in these situations? So it's a little complicated to ask some of these situations for boys here, but let's try. Let's do a little exercise of putting ourselves in someone else's shoe. Lucas, imagine you're a girl at a bar. A guy comes near you, insists on buying you a drink you really don't want, but then he insists and he insists and he insists. What do? Would you have done something different from Sheila or the same?
But Sheila has a good situation because it wasn't charismatic guys. I don't tell anything, but he made a good offer. He just like he paid a drink for me. You can see her. Oh, sorry. You can see her that she really needs a drink because she's stressed at something and she decided to be alone. But it was a good offer came from this guy. So if I was Sheila, probably I would accept like Sheila accepted. Like, oh, come on. Like we give you one chance to change my mind. Come on. The clock is running.
Okay, all right, we're good. Proof that you're not a girl, because women know they should not accept drinks from strangers because there could be anything in that drink, but okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, in conversation 2, okay, we already talked about it. What would you have done in this situation? Ryan, imagine you meet with an ex-girlfriend. She insists that you have lunch together. You know that you shouldn't because every time you get back together, you get hurt. And then she insists, and in the situation, Christopher ended up accepting. But what about you? Would you accept? Right. You're thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
You would accept?
Yeah, probably. Depends if I would or not on a relationship, but I think so.
Okay, all right. All right, so conversation 3, Caroline refuses to sit with the stranger. And after the stranger tells her that they already know because they went to school together, she still refuses. But what would you have done, Maria Eduarda? Would you still have refused?
Yes, I would still refuse because, like she said, he's an annoying guy. And even if he wasn't in this place where they are, they is acting like a jerk.
Okay, all right, very good. How do you start a conversation with a complete stranger? For everybody, this question here. How do you start a conversation with a complete stranger? Do you have any lines? Let's change the question. Has anyone here ever started a conversation with a complete stranger in any situation?
Yes.
How did you do it? What was the situation?
First of all, I usually let me check my situation. Okay, bus stop. Usually met some people in the bus stop, and no, I'm gonna use another situation. Once I was in school and was getting ready for science fair. How can I say Feira de Ciências?
Science fair.
Yeah, it's science fair. Oh, okay. And then we started to decorate the classroom to do the science fair. But then one group of students from another school started to watching our presentations and things like that. And then I just came to this group of people, and I asked him where this school is from, but oh my gosh, I don't know how can I say this. But it's okay. I just made some short questions. For example, hi, I introduced myself, said my name, and made some short questions, not a more specific question like, where are you from? Where do you study? What's your name? And then we start a conversation based in the answers of this other guy.
Okay, interesting. Very good. Anyone else ever start a conversation with a complete stranger in any situation? Don't think so. I don't think I have. normally if I wanted to talk to someone I was interested in or something like that, I needed to have someone that already knew them. So then I would start to talk to the person that I knew next to the person that I wanted to talk to, and then things would just kind of flow from there, but never a complete stranger, never done that.
Strategy.
Yes,
Strategia.
you need to have strategy, yes. I also made flirty jokes. I flirt with jokes. Like I made jokes about being with them, hooking up with them, and just like, ha, just kidding. But then you kind of give them that look that they know you're not really kidding. Works sometimes. Bran, do you have any lines?
First question and jokes.
Yeah, pretty much. Jokes.
Like when I had to go to the lottery. So when you were born, waiting for the time, you just make jokes, and then the people start to laugh and talk with you, just like that.
Something like that, yes. Okay. Any lines? I don't think I have any lines. Like lines in this situation here is the things that normally people call pickup lines. So things that are ready, like sentences that are already made, and you just use in the situations to try to get people to talk to you or to be interested in you or something like that. I think lines are kind of stupid. They don't really work. What do you do when you want to be left alone and someone approaches you? I'm going to ask this question to Maria Antonia. What do you do when you want to be alone and someone is always trying to talk to you?
I don't talk to the person.
Just
I ignore and make my worst face.
Okay, great. All right, that's a good strategy. And you, Thiago, what do you do when you want to be left alone and someone is trying to talk to you? You need to turn on your microphone. I can't hear you if you are talking.
I just let the person talking.
Alone?
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't
Maria
have patience.
Maria and Tiago leave the person, ignore the person talking alone. No, you don't say, look, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. Just ignore.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good strategy. I think this is also what I do, but usually I ignore by doing something else. Like the person is trying to talk to you and you're just like, uh-huh. Yeah, I see. Uh-huh. And then you're like kind of on your phone and the person will just get the picture that you don't want to talk to them.
And Nicole.
Yes.
I let the person talking with my hand.
Terminator, talk to the hand. All right, very good. Perfect. Number 3, divide these expressions from the conversations in activity 2 into 2 groups. Then give each group a name. Go over the audio script on pages 144 and 145 if necessary. This activity, if done in the way that is described here, would be very long. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you what are the categories of the groups. The first group is going to be refusing politely, so saying no in a polite way. And the second group is going to be convincing or persuading. So all you have to do now is identify. You can write the names of the groups, copy on your books, and then identify which of these sentences are used for refusing politely, so saying no in a polite way, and which of these words are used for convincing and persuading. Go ahead, please. I'll give you some minutes and then we can check. Let me know when you finish if you can.
Done.
Okay. We'll check in a moment. Everybody else done too?
Yes.
All right. So let's check. There you go. These are each sentence in their correct group, in their correct category. Okay. Tiago, can you read the first 3 sentences here in group 1, please? Just read for us.
You seem like a cool guy, but whoa, I'm really flattered, but I really don't think I can make it.
Okay. Maria Antonia, the other 4 sentences.
I don't mean to be rude, but again, I'm sorry, but look, I'm trying to be polite, but now for the last time, please.
Okay. Ryan, these 4 sentences here, please.
What do you have to lose? Tell me what. Give it a chance. What do you say?
Okay, and here, Maria Eduarda.
For old time's sake, I won't take no for an answer. What if? I bet I can change your mind. Would it change anything if?
Okay, great. Activity on trying out, we're going to do on another class because I kind of need to create copies from the book and I didn't do that. So another moment, okay? Maybe next class if everybody's here. Let's go to grammar talk. Let's skip trying out. Cause and consequence. Study these sentences extracted from the conversations in exploring and classify them according to the categories below. So we have 3 categories. This is a possibility for the future depending on what happens next. Number 2, this is an unreal or imaginary idea about the present. The reality is probably the opposite. And number 3, this is an unreal or imaginary idea about the past. What really happened is probably the opposite. So I'll give you some minutes. Answer this activity 1, please.
Done.
Okay, let's check. There you go. 1, 3, 2, 2, 1. So after all, if you tell me you're not interested in my company, I'll leave you in peace. Possibility for the future, depending on what happens next. If you don't leave me alone, I'll have to call security. Possibility for the future, blah, blah, blah. 2. Oh, Chris, if I didn't know you so well, I'd say you were afraid. Unreal or imaginary idea about the present. The reality is probably the opposite. Would it change anything if I told you you have already met me? And 3, unreal or imaginary idea about the past. Things might have turned out very differently if we hadn't been so young back then. These are the answers. 2. Match these sentences to the 3 categories and then complete the chart on page 92 with the possible structure for each case. So you're going to do the same thing, right? Number 1, 2, or 3, but for the sentences here. After that, you're going to analyze the structure for each case. So the case in number 1, the case in number 2, and the case in number 3, and see if you can complete the structure here for the first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. Okay, go ahead, please. Try to complete number 2 here and go to the next page and complete the chart with the correct structure. Done?
Almost. Just doing the consequence from page 92.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's check. Number 2, there you go. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's the sequence. Let's read the sentences together. I might go out with Greg if he asks me out. Pity he is so shy. Can you read the next one, please, Lucas?
Should have broken my heart if I hadn't walked away when I did.
Okay, next, Maria Eduarda.
I thought of catching a movie, but we can stay home if you prefer.
Okay, next, Thiago.
I thought
Thiago.
of cast.
This could work.
Yeah, this could work if you gave it a chance.
Okay, thank you, Maria Antonia.
I could have helped you if you had come to me first, but now you're on our own.
Okay, thank you. And finally, Ryan.
You and Jen are so perfect for each other. If you don't ask her out, you may regret this for the rest of her life.
Perfect, thank you. On the next page, here are the answers. The first conditional, a possibility for the future depending on what happens next. If plus present simple. Consequence, will, going to, can, or may. Second conditional, this is an unreal or imaginary idea about the present. The reality is probably the opposite. If plus past simple, would, could, might. Third conditional, this is an unreal or imaginary idea about the past. What really happened is probably the opposite. If plus past perfect, would have, could have, might have. Let me write here one example for each of these situations. In the first conditional, if I study for the test, so present simple, if I study for the test, I will pass. Simple, simple, simple. Second conditional, let me put here. If I pass simple, if I were rich, I would buy a car. Past simple, if plus past simple, if I were rich, consequence, I would buy a car. And third conditional, past perfect. Past perfect, as you remember, is the combination of had plus the verb in the past participle. So if I had studied, had plus past participle for the test, I would have passed. This is it. First conditional, second conditional, and the third conditional. If I study for the test, I will pass. If I were rich, I would buy a car. If I had studied for the test, I would have passed. But the reality is the opposite because I didn't study for the test, so I didn't pass. And activity number 3 on the same subject, you are going to write about cause and consequence. Use the words in the structure suggested below. So cheat on, first conditional. Let me give you an example. Here, the idea of cheat on, since we are talking about relationship and love and stuff, is the idea of being unfaithful, okay? To cheat on is to be unfaithful. So when you are with someone and then you secretly have something with someone else. If my boyfriend cheats on me, so first conditional, we need to use this present simple. If my boyfriend cheats on me, I'm going to break up with him. This is the idea of what you have to do. Use the correct conditional. So in this case, the first conditional. And then use the words, the verbs that they are suggesting here on the book. Since we only have 10 minutes, you will probably not have time to finish. You can do now. We're not going to end the class right now. Try to do the sentences, all of them, and then we can check the sentences next class. But let's stay here together until 9 so that you can finish, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. But we are just going to check the questions next week. Okay, guys, since we only have 5 minutes to go, we can turn off already. Finish that activity so that we can correct next class, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Our classes will continue to be 1 hour, okay? We'll try to do 1 hour classes so that we can move a little faster. Bye-bye. Good night to everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Nicole.